Hello, I am Nancy Ann. Welcome to Simply Beautiful Sourdough. Today we are going to be scoring kind of a swirly pattern, I hope, on this Batard. I haven't tried this score before, so you're going to get to see me do it for the first time. This is my Bread Basics bread sling. I have an affiliate link down in the drop-down box, along with links to all of the other products that I'm using today. So I'm just going to take this, flip it over. I like this because it lets me lift the bread in and out of the hot Dutch oven without burning my hands. I love the long handles on it. Here we go. Get that pretty much in the center. This loaf is 500 grams of flour. It is 80% whole wheat and 80% white bread flour, 20% whole wheat. And I used about a 10% starter when I was proofing it. And it's 2.5% salt. And I did 5% of the flour weight in poppy seeds. I sprayed my loaf with water just in a regular bottle, just regular plain old water, because it helps my rice flour to stick. I had someone ask if they could use regular flour. You can indeed. Rice flour just doesn't brown as easily, has a higher scorch level. I'm hoping I can use this newfangled doohickey for sprinkling and not get quite as much on the mat as I normally do, and waste less rice flour. I'm trying to be a lot less wasteful with all of our groceries lately with the way the price of everything has gone up. All right, let me see if that's enough. I'm going to kind of spread that evenly over my loaf so it has a nice good coating of rice flour. There we go. All right, I'm going to go over to the sink and brush off the excess around the loaf into the sink, and then I'll be back and we'll do our scoring. There we go. That makes it less messy inside my Dutch oven. I also forgot to say, this is also about 73% hydration. I think that's where I'll do my, you know what, let's not do that. Let me get my dental floss so I can get a straight line. I truly have a hard time drawing a straight line. Dental floss is my best friend. Now I'm going to draw some swirly pattern on here. Let me bring that up closer. We'll do it on this side. I'm going to have to turn that around. Make them look pretty much symmetrical. It's not super important because they are on opposite sides, and hopefully the center score will split them far, far apart. Okay. I think that's probably good enough. I thought about doing an extra little wheat stalk in here on each one. We'll see how I feel about that once it actually gets this main score done. Yeah, that might work. Okay. I'm using my UFO lawn. This is my favorite one. It is a little bit oxidized here. It's been a while since I have scored. I've only done a couple of scores before this though, so it should be fine for doing this. I am doing my decorative scoring first, then my main score down the middle, because if I do my main score first, it's going to start splitting a lot. It's going to be harder to get to this score before it really starts sinking. The whole thing starts spreading out from the split in the middle. I'm going to follow right along that curved line. Would have liked to have done that without picking my loam up, but I kind of had to. I'll bring this one a little further in. Okay. Now, I thought about doing a whole nother video on making a loaf of sourdough, a new one. Tell me what you think about that, if you like that idea. So now I'm just going to treat these like one big long wheat stalk. So I'm going to do this end going this way. I suppose that's the best angle for the camera, is it? So let's do, then we're going to do this end going, now I can't see what I'm doing, going this way. This loaf has been in the refrigerator for 2 days, by the way. I don't normally do that. Normally I bake the next day when I leave it overnight, but I didn't have time to record yesterday, so I'm doing it now, and we'll see how it turns out. Not super happy with the direction that one went in, but there's not a lot I can do about it now. Once you've cut, you've cut. And now I'll do this one, coming this way. The trick is to remember to keep your slants on the wheat stalk kind of going more up than out. I found that when I send them too far out when I'm making my incisions, that it tends to look more like a palm branch and less like a wheat stalk. Turn this around so you can see it. No, I can't see it. I'm scoring blind. Now let's go the other way. So now the big question, do I go ahead and add a little bit of a detail in here, or do I just leave well enough alone? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the incision, but I'm not going to make it a wheat stalk. I'm just going to do a little curly line like that, just to give a little more detail. Okay, and now I'm going to make my main score right here down the middle. A lot of times I try and go sideways to give it a nice ear. This time I'm going to go straight up and down, see what happens if we can get a good spread without so much of an ear, so that this looks more symmetrical, since the sides are rather symmetrical in their scoring when oven spring kicks in. Okay, this is going to go into a preheated Dutch oven at 500 degrees. I will lower the temperature down to 425. I'm going to bake it covered for 40 minutes, and we will see you with the Dutch oven reveal. I thought I would turn the camera back on and show you. I added length to each of these little extra slashes I made. I'm just going to show you what I did on this last one. So you're going to see a little bit of a difference from what I did when we opened the oven. Okay, now let's go in and bake her up. Let's take a look and see how our swirly wheat pattern score turned out. Oh, that's kind of pretty. Although it did something I wasn't quite expecting. I scored too deep along the wheat score right there, the main score, and it split too much because it was going with the tension of the loaf this way. So I'm happy with the way that these split nice and wide, but I wish this would have been thinner. I shouldn't have pressed quite so hard when I cut that. But overall, I still think it's pretty. I'm going to put this back in the oven at 425 for about another 20 minutes. I found I need to bake my 500-gram loaves that long, or else they are a little bit underbaked and I'll get it browned that way, uncovered in this Dutch oven, and we'll see you back with the final loaf. Here is our finished swirly wheat stock that didn't really wind up being a wheat stock at all, but I still think it's very, very pretty. I would proudly give this to anyone. I really regret that I did not carve this shallower. Live and learn. I also wish I would have scored this for an ear instead of just flat like this. It didn't split apart as much as I anticipated. It could be because this was in the refrigerator 2 nights instead of 1, and that might have affected the oven spring. So thank you very much for watching my video. If you could do me a really quick favor and like the video, squish that like button, that would help it so much, help other people find this scoring video who might like this type of video. And also, if you like different types of videos on sourdough, mostly scoring at this point, please consider subscribing, and please do comment down below. I absolutely love interacting with you guys. That is the reward for me. Okay, we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, and be blessed. Test 1, 2. Ooh, sound working. Yeah, let's go. We're in business. Hello, hello. Oh, I did it again. All right, let me try that again. Okay, here comes the dog. I gotta get the gloves on. Here we go. Okay.